We need to show that the line segment joining the middle points of the two sides of a triangle is equals to half of the third side. Now let us begin by considering a triangle. Let's say we have a triangle ABC, and we are also going to specify its coordinates. Then the coordinates of A be x1, y1, coordinates of B, let it be x2, y2, and coordinates of C, let it be x3, y3. Now, it's given here that we need to show that the line segment joining the middle points of the two sides of a triangle is equal to the half of the third side. So let's consider that the midpoint of AB is at D, the midpoint of AC is at E. So let's join D and E. Now, we can also find out the midpoints of D and E because we have the coordinates of its endpoints. Now, let's talk about the coordinates of the midpoint D. The coordinates of the midpoint D will be, so what we'll do, to find out the x coordinate, we'll take the sum of the x coordinate of the endpoints AB. So we have x1 added to x2, and we're going to divide it by 2. And to find out the y coordinate, we'll add up the y coordinates of the endpoint, so that's y1 plus y2 divided by 2, and this is going to be the coordinate of the midpoint D. Similarly, we can also define the coordinates of the midpoint E. So let's define that as well. So that is going to be x1 plus x3 divided by 2, and the y coordinate will be y1 plus y3 divided by 2. Now what we can do, let's begin by first finding out the length of DE. To find out the length of DE, all we have to do is take the square root. So here what we'll be doing is using the distance formula. So the distance formula is take the square root. Underneath the square root, first we need to find out is the difference of the x coordinate. So that means we'll take the x coordinate of D, that's x1 plus x2, divided by 2, and from it subtract the x coordinate of E, which is x1 plus x3 divided by 2. And we're going to square this value. And then add it to the difference of the y coordinate. So we'll start with y1 plus y2. We're going to divide it by 2. And from it subtract the y coordinate of E, which is y1 plus y3 divided by 2 whole square. Fine. So let's compute this value. So this will be, we have square root of. So if we combine the two difference of the x coordinates, so we have x1 cancelling out. We will be left with x2 minus x3 divided by 2 whole square. Added to, we have y2 minus y3 divided by 2 whole square. Now what we can do, we can factor out that 1 over 2 from the denominator of both sides, and if we take it out, that will be simply half times the square root of x2 minus x3 whole squared plus y2 minus y3 whole square. Now coming to the diagram, now if we consider the endpoints B and C, so B has the coordinates x2, y2, C has the coordinates x3, y3. Now clearly, what's BC here? If we apply the distance formula, so we take the square root, underneath the square root, we have the difference of the x coordinates, so that's going to be x2 minus x3. We have to square that value and then add it to square of the difference of the y coordinates, so that's y2 minus y3 squared. Now clearly, we observe here that half is multiplied to the length BC. So let's replace this value, half times BC. So therefore, we have successfully showed that the line, which is DE, is the line joining the midpoints of the two sides of a triangle. So that length is exactly equals to half of the third side. The third side here is BC.